Hey, this is Brian Whitaker at Whitts Ranch. Got a roping video to go over. First, before you can rope, you gotta get your cattle kind of broke in. And this is the version of breaking them in and just in the arena, not from out of a chute or anything like that. These are mine. These are grass-fed, raised here, long yearlings. They've not seen the inside of this arena. They've been in here less than 24 hours at this point. And so there's a lot of ways to get your cattle kind of broke in, used to everything. There's two main differences. There's two camps. One is just track them and run after them. And two, the second one is you own them. So if you own them, that's probably not how you're going to break them in. And this is a working ranch, meaning these cattle are here to hopefully make a profit, not just to be lawn ornaments. So, pounds is dollars. That's it. So if I'm running the pounds off of these cattle unnecessarily, it's costing me money. And, and it just, why do it? There's no need to just run these cattle and get them all just crazy and hot and then the next time they're going to remember that. And if I even just walk out there, they're just going to be crazy. So these cattle were pretty good to deal with. So as I warm up here, I'm just showing them the other end of the arena is a good place to be. So they don't even really know a whole lot about a horse. I've ridden through a herd, but tracking them is a whole different thing. So you can see them just kind of like, oh, what's he doing? And just making sure I'm got my horse warmed up and ready to go when I rope here. Maybe unlike most arena ropers, especially, I lope both ways. Left lead and the right lead. I've got two sides. My horse has two sides. I want both sides warmed up. You kind of show it there. I'm just riding him through them a little bit, saying that's a good place to be down there. You'll be safe down there. So they at least know a place to go when I start tracking. Now, this is my camera. This is my GPS camera, so there's going to be quite a few edits here. I'm trying to edit out, make these videos a little more watchable, not so long. But I don't want to do a big disservice to people that do want to learn how to rope, because there's a lot to this stuff. You could say if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm just making sure my horse is good with the rope behind him there. He's had some time off again. This is Sawyer, so I'm just checking him out. He did fantastic, but these are, just checking him out. Now I'm just going to swing my rope, get him kind of used to that, and just sort of start tracking him around and really see what happens. I'm not going to go to him 100 miles an hour and just scare the heck out of him, because that'll affect down the road. It'll affect, like I said, it not only affect taking off weight today, but it'll stress him enough where it'll affect him tomorrow. And I don't want to do that. Like I said, this is a working ranch. It's a grass-fed operation. And that doesn't matter whether it's grass-fed or not. You still don't want to stress them. You just want to show them there's a way out here, that I'm not going to just run after you and you got to worry about running through fences and everything like that. So, like I said, I could edit all this down, but it's a disservice to people that really want to learn how to rope, that there's so much to it. Let's even just going back to being on the ground with a rope, just figuring that out. Now you got to get horseback, and you got to get a good horse to rope too, and your horsemanship has to be up to snuff to rope. Well, okay, now you've done all that. Maybe you've roped a horseback off a dummy. Well, now you finally want to get cattle. It's not as simple, okay, just get anything and start roping. There's a lot to this. There's a certain process you need to follow, and breaking cattle in correctly is a big one for me, whether they're core annies to team rope or just these, home-raised grass-fed cattle just to rope in the arena. There's a process I want to go through, so I don't want to just start roping them. So again, that's why I did edit it down quite a bit, mainly when the camera was looking at a squirrel or something. This is, like I said, my GPS camera. So there's a few shots I'll just take just to throw, because maybe it's there. My biggest advice I give people, if they're going to be in some sort of competition which requires them to rope a loose bovine out in an arena, is make sure when you get your shot, you're ready, because it could look pretty bad for a while. That, like, this one could have taken off with his tail up and just gone. And if you have a limited time to try and rope it, you don't have time to just get everything just set. So when you finally get in position, you have to take your shot. So that'd be a good way to practice on the ground and with the dummy and all that, is be ready. That's the biggest, one of the biggest problems I see when people get horseback and they get all excited with a cattle in front of them is be ready. That doesn't mean you got to throw immediately, but also don't over swing so that when you are in position, your arm's so tired. Now I'm just trying to isolate this one here. So I'm not in what I'd call roping position. I'm a little bit wider, just a little bit, to try and see how he's looking left, but I'm there to kind of block him. The fence is there to block him from the right, because I'm just trying to single in one out here a little bit so I can rope it. And you can kind of see it probably looked like I was pretty close, but these angles are tricky, and I wasn't real close. I mean, that's a little longer shot than I want to take. And I'm just trying to actually get him in a pattern here. Just get him used to that. A horse is going to track him, and I'm going to swing a rope so that he's not darting all over. Because the hardest animal to rope is one that not a real fast one necessarily, especially if you have a fast horse that tracks well. There, I just took a shot. That was the first, that was a breakaway rope. It's supposed to do that. So you can see, even with a breakaway rope, the cattle react to it. So the hardest cattle to me to rope are the ones that duck and dart and left and right and head down and up and all over. So I'm just trying to get them kind of squared away here. Not that I won't practice on that, but see how he's kind of left and right, looking with his left eye. Should I turn back to the right? So I'm staying in that kind of wide position so that he doesn't just turn around on me. I got the fence to help me from the right side, but he's kind of wanting to go back by his buddy, just getting him used to some swings, see how that causes him to move out. Now, this is a good way if you're trying to get cattle to move. Just simply swinging sometimes gets them to move. Yeah, that was on purpose. That was my warning shot. Not really. That's a good reason why you want to swing with some momentum on your swings, because I had an angle I wanted, and at the last second he turned his head so I could quickly adjust. I still missed, clearly. So now I'm just getting them lined out here. I'm trying to get one peeled off. It's a little soon for me to just put one out in the arena, because they start getting kind of anxious about being all alone. Eventually we'll get there, but I'm just tracking. And Sawyer's doing a really good job of just staying kind of in that steady tracking mode. This is what I'd call tracking mode and not in pursuit mode. Where in pursuit means you go as fast as they go fast. If they go fast, you go fast too. Here he kind of moves off, and then Sawyer, like, that's a good shot to take. It was a bad throw, clearly. But I didn't stop my horse. I kept going because everything's going so well. And my horse, I want to keep him free. So in this case, I'm just going to keep going. And that he doesn't seem, that's actually a bull. He doesn't seem too stressed or anything. There was a good reason why I get a horse leading by the foot. I don't know if you could see that, and why it's a prerequisite for me when you're going to rope. I think I top-notched him here, so I'm just tracking him. It's around his head, and it's good for me, for my horse, to kind of push up and track him. Just track him around. Round and circle like that can be kind of a tough for a horse. But anyway, going back to what I said, that rope for a second as I was building it got around my horse's front leg, and maybe you didn't notice it, which is good, because my horse had zero change in expression. Even some pretty decent rope horses can get a little worried when that rope gets around their foot. So going back to some videos that I've made about leading a horse by a foot, there's another of the many, many examples why it's so good to get a horse to lead by a foot. He's felt that before, so he's like, no big deal. So I'm just giving everything time to take a break. Another one, I guess you could call it a pet peeve. It's beyond a pet peeve, but one thing that really I work on with people is when they're roping, to not accidentally bump their horse with their left hand, to make sure your right and your left are independent. So your coils are in your left, And just, I want to see how that red and white, that heifer, she's figured out, if I stay here, I can just take a break. Now watch how I'm swinging to try and drive him out of there. There's a box here, and see how I just get my horse to come around with little effort. That's the other thing, is you got to be smart about this stuff. Is you don't have to always go. That was a really good shot, but too bad the camera missed. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Never mind. I'm kidding. That was just a miss. No big deal. This is the one bad thing with all these edits. I gotta get on one thing, one subject, and I have to move on, but that's okay. Just regrouping. You can see, hopefully you can notice that nothing is stressed. My horse, the cattle, I'm not. And I'm just waiting for the right time. Like, that was a really good time. And I'm just tracking up. I'm dallying as I'm tracking. I'm slowly slowing down. It's just something I like to do. I like to see how long I can go with the cattle after I've roped them before that breakaway will pop off. So there's a lot of times I can get, if they're not running real hard, I can get the cattle to kind of turn around and face me, even with the breakaway rope. Now, speaking of breakaway, what I'm trying to show is the breakaway hondo, how it's split in the center. At least this one is, and you have to open the split up to put it back on. But it was a good day, good session. We'll have another video with Copper doing similar stuff. This is what I like about the get down rope here, is you always have a lead rope. I can take the bridle off, let the horse stretch out, let them lick, loosen them up, let them know I don't care if they're 2 days old or 14 years old like him, just to let them know they did a good job. And when I step away here, see how he comes with me before that lead rope will even get tight? That's what I like. I've got it draped around my arm. He doesn't let that thing get tight. So even when you're not paying attention, they're paying attention. Thanks for watching.